The Conjuring, Annabelle, The Conjuring 2, Annabelle Creation, and the upcoming films The Nun, The Conjuring 3, and The Crooked Man are all part of the Conjuring universe. A cinematic universe I have stated before is one of the best, and one of my personal favorites. I actually really enjoy every film so far. Yes, even that one. And I'm patiently waiting for the release of The Nun next year. Something about these interconnected tales of horror just seems to make me filled with glee. And I am always there to watch the midnight release of each film in this universe. I may be extremely biased, since when I was a kid I was always obsessed with Ed and Lorraine Warren. But the writing in the films always seemed relatively solid to me. If not that, the films were definitely enjoyable to watch. My love for the movies being abundantly clear, my friends often ask me what exactly the films are about, and what order they should watch them. Which points to the inspiration of today's video. I decided to rewatch all the movies in the Conjuring universe, and tie them together in a little nice bow for you to enjoy. Without any further delay, let's get to the Conjuring Universe Timeline. So, before we begin, I want to point out that this is our timeline, and I will be putting the films in chronological order as the video goes on. Something to take note of is that I will be placing a blue or red border around the movie on the timeline. Red means the movie already released, and I have seen it, while blue means the movie has yet to release as of the release of this video. Moreover, there will be several spoilers, so a spoiler warning is now in effect. You've been warned. So we'll start off with the movie that started it all, The Conjuring. The film opens in 1968 with the first mention of Annabelle. The Warrens are with a group of teens / young adults, Donna, Angie, and Lou, who are describing their experiences to the Warrens about the possessed doll they just so happen to own. They explain how the doll would move around the house, leave notes around the house in red crayon, and how it attacked Lou. The Warrens decide to take the doll off their hands and take it to their occult museum. We then jump to 1971, where the Warrens are showing off this footage to a college seminar, where the only two minorities just so happen to be sat next to each other. No wait, forget about these four. Jumping over to the Perrin family, meet Roger, his wife Carolyn, and their daughters Andrea, Nancy, Christine, Cindy, and April Perrin. After the family settles in, they begin to experience some strange events. An awful smell would travel around the house, noises would be heard without an identifiable source, the clocks would all stop at 3:07, Carolyn would find random bruises appearing all over her body, and the family would experience the odd ghost / demon sighting. One night, while Roger is away, the family is attacked by the demonic presence that is haunting the family, and it's this event that leads the family to contact the Warrens for help. Ed and Lorraine go over to the families, and they conclude the house is full of spirits, and a single demonic entity. The Warrens head back to their residence, and they try to establish what exactly is attaching itself to the Perrin family. From Lorraine, we discover that the original farmhouse the Perrins live in was built in 1863 by a man named Jetson Sherman. He was married to a woman named Beth Sheba. Sheba also just so happened to be related to Marytown Etsy, one of the women accused of witchcraft, and was hung during the Salem witch trials. After Sheba and Sherman met, they soon got married, had a baby, and when the baby was 7 days old, Sherman caught Sheba sacrificing the baby in front of the fireplace. She ran out to the tree in front of the lake, proclaimed her love to Satan, cursed anyone who tried to take her land, and hung herself. She was pronounced dead at 3:07 in the morning. We then learn that the curse Sheba placed on the home was in fact real. We learn of another family consisting of a mother, Walker, and her son, Rory. Rory disappeared one day without a trace, and Walker killed herself in the cellar. Also, I skipped over this earlier, but Rory is one of the many ghosts living in the home, as is Walker. We also come to find out that the farm had been subdivided by different people who purchased the land. There was a boy who drowned in the lake where Sheba had hung herself, and a maid who committed suicide. The next day, Ed, Lorraine, Drew, Deputy Dewey, Officer Hamilton, make their way to the Perrins to start ghost hunting. The Warrens make their stay, and one day, while everyone is out, Lorraine and Carolyn are left on their lonesome. While Ed starts to fix Roger's car, some spooky stuff starts to happen, and Lorraine notices an entity in the same room where Carolyn is sleeping. She rushes to her aid, but she is too late. Unbeknownst to Lorraine at the time, the demonic entity had already possessed Carolyn before she could get there to help. Skipping forward, after some more ghost hunting, and after the demon attacks Lorraine, we discover that it possesses the mothers of a family and forces them to kill the family, and then commit suicide. The family leaves the house, and they make their way to a local roadside motel. The Warrens try to get a priest to bless and exorcise the house, but the family are not members of the church, and the kids have not been baptized. After some reluctance, the church complies with the Warrens' request and try to get a priest to exorcise the house. The Warrens head home, their daughter is attacked by Annabelle, they get a phone call at 3:07, and Roger tells them that Carolyn is acting strangely, and she took off with two of the kids, Christine and April. Ed, Lorraine, Roger, Drew, and Dewey all make their way to the house, where they find a possessed Carolyn. With no priest in sight, Ed decides to perform the exorcism. Christine was also found perfectly safe, but April was still missing. Drew finds April, where he accidentally announces to the demon where she is, under the house, under the kitchen. The demonically possessed Carolyn grabs a pair of scissors and rushes to a crawlspace to try and kill April. After some more exorcisms, and the power of love I guess, Carolyn manages to break free from the demon's hold, and the family gets a nice long group hug, and everything goes back to normal.